Hello everybody, well I finally made it back to Oldham. That grave over there, you know, I'm not here to see this one today, but that's a Clegg grave, as is that one over there. Abraham Clegg's buried there. Anyway, we'll get to that family in another episode if you like, but we're here to see quite a few people today. And I'll be honest, I don't know how the video is going to turn out. There's quite a few places that I want to go. But we're going to start with this grave here. So this was Abraham Crompton. Now if you look down there, he was a JP. He was also Mayor of Oldham. He also built Trinity Church, which is in Coldhurst. Is it Coldhurst? He also helped fund the Sunday school that's on Union Street, which we're going to be getting to in a minute. Abraham was a justice of the peace. He was mayor of Oldham. He was a cotton spinner. He spent a lot of money building things for people of Oldham. And one of them, like we say, we're just going to get to, is now being knocked down to make way for shops, even though there's shops in Oldham that they can't fill. Apparently they need to build some more and take down some more of our history. So yeah, I'm not going to get on my soapbox today, but yeah, I am going to take you around and show you a few sites. So Abraham is, well, his wife was called Leah. She's buried in here with him. I think she died first. Oh, Elizabeth Alice, the daughter, and finally Abraham, 38, pub leader. Right, let's get down to Union Street. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Right everybody, we're here. You know Man's Sleep Shop there, it's been open in Oldham since 1875. How amazing. Give them some business if you're looking for a bed. Keep them going. So, this what you're looking at here is, you've probably driven past it. I know you've seen it on the channel before, I know. I did feature it a couple of weeks ago. But it's relevant now more than ever because I sort of knew this because Michael from Oldham Vaults told me a while ago, and I thought, nah, that won't happen. And then apparently Chris Loftus has put something on. He's made in Oldham, and they're basically ripping this down. And it looks like they've already started dumping things and ripping things out, and look at the glass there, that's been smashed. Back on my old camera today, people. Got my other one, but I want to use this one. So yeah. So apparently what they're going to do is they're going to knock it down and they're going to build some shops. Which is amazing to me because, I mean, there's literally loads of shops in the town centre, as I said, at the grave. But just to prove the point, I don't know if you can read this, but I can. It says, this memorial stone was laid by Abraham Crompton on Good Friday, April 3rd, 1874. Now, Sheila, who watches the channel, Sheila, if you're watching, I can't remember what you said, if it was a church and a Sunday school, but I know it was a Sunday school. And you know, it's been here for many years, obviously, and now they've decided that this has to go as well. So this is going Theatre Royal, Grand Theatre, not the Theatre Royal, the Grand Theatre, that's going. All they really need to do then is get rid of the Prudential and then work out a way that it's acceptable for knock down the Lyceum. Probably get rid of the church down at the bottom, and then realistically then they've just deleted the face of Oldham. I mean, that's literally all we've got left now. But anyway, we're going to go down to Holy Trinity and we're going to have a look around that, because Abraham Crompton also funded that. He gave loads of money to Oldham. All these fellas did, and we're going to go and see a few of them at Chadderton. And I know I've done a Chadderton cemeteries video, but I want to show you the images that I've got of these people, bring them back to life, and that's what we're going to do. Right everyone, let's have a look around Holy Trinity. I was really hoping that, it smells fit round here, someone's cooking like a nice curry or something. I was really hoping that the church would be open, so we could go in and have a look, but I don't think it is, which is a real shame. And there's not really that much to see in the grounds, to be perfectly honest. The spectacular things to see are all inside. But there's a very, very strong presence of Abraham Crompton within this church. Literally, plaques all over. This is an old war memorial. I don't know where the top of it's gone, and I think it only references the First World War. In memory of the Coldhurst men who fell at the Great War, 1914-1918. They have their brave fight, remember, by, oh, I can't read it, such a shame I can't read it, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be a mention of the Second World War, and there's something missing off the top. I want to show you that is it not a portcullis? Is it called a portcullis, that? Anyway, I'm going to show you that in a minute, because there's some inscriptions on there and I need to find out who the lady was, and I will do. Oh, it's definitely shut, look. I mean, I heard rumour that it was shutting and it weren't opening. It were going to close down because there wasn't enough of a congregation. Look at that beauty. Oh. But yeah, St Trinity. Church that Abraham Crompton give quite a bit of money to fund. Let's have a look down these steps. I want to see what's written above this. I have read it before, and it mentions a woman, I think. It's beautiful, this. Look at it. To the glory of God, this lynch gate was erected and many other improvements made in the church grounds by Mrs. Taylor Belmont, A.D. M.D. A-A-A-A-I-X. I know that's not what it says because it's Roman numerals, but I don't know. I don't know Roman numerals. My mum would know immediately. I don't. Right. I will make an attempt to get in touch with the church warden. See if I can get in. Oh God, it smells good, that curry, you know. See if I can get in. Let's have a look right down the bottom here. There's Werneth Mill in the distance. One of the oldest mills in Oldham, that one. I mean, they're all old, but that's one of the oldest, if you know what I mean. And this hill is really steep. I actually, when I bought the Micra, I purposely came to Crompton Street because I wanted to see, because it's only 1 litre, and I wanted to see if it could handle this street, and purely based on the fact that I was able to go up this street and it didn't struggle at all. That's why I bought it. Yeah, Par Portcullis. So it is a portcullis. Join us for a chat and snack, a hot drink, every Wednesday between 1:30 and 3 PM. Alright, well that's it then. So I need to be taking a day off work on a Wednesday and coming for a brew. Right, so next stop, let's go and have a look at the home of Eli Lees. No, actually no. We're gonna go to a nice location in Shaw, that's what I show you, which will lead very nicely into the next story that I want to tell you. Right everybody, I said we were going to Shaw, we're not. We're in Royton. And I knew it in Royton. But just to give you an idea of where we are, that's right in town centre down there. And then if you follow this road all the way up, this takes you up to, you know, the road that takes you into Shaw. But this is why we're here. I'm going to focus on this one because I don't want to focus on someone's house. John Hogan. John Hogan is an Oldham hero. He was a soldier in the First World War. I'm wondering how many people who live on John Hogan Close actually know why this road's called John Hogan, or this close is called John Hogan. It was to oh, it's I think it's lovely that they've got it. I wish more people knew why though. But basically, yeah, we'll go down and have a look at his grave. But basically, John Hogan, he was a World War I hero. There were 3 Victoria Cross recipients in Oldham. He was one of them. So what he did to get the Victoria Cross, apparently the trenches that he was in, World War I trenches, remember, you've seen them, haven't you, on the films and stuff. Basically, what happened was he, what's they called? The Germans. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you when we get to the grave. Everyone, I am here, Cheddarton Cemetery. Absolutely love it. Yeah, can never get enough of Cheddarton Cemetery, you know that if you've watched my channel enough. And I'm going to start off by saying this. Yes, I have featured these people and these graves in other videos. The reason why I'm refeaturing them is because I wanted to bring them alive, if you like, and that's what we're going to do. We'll start off. No, we won't. We'll start off with John Hogan, because that's where we just finished off. Let me tell you the story of John. Sergeant John Hogan, actually. Started off his life, he lived in Royton, and he was a postman. That's what he did, he was a postman. When the World War I started and he was drafted, he had to go and fight for the country, as many men did back then. So he was drafted and he was abroad and he was in the trenches. I don't know which Pacific, off the top of my head. I'll try and remember to look when I'm editing this video up. But in terms of which battle it was, I'm not too sure, but I will try and find out. But basically, it was one of the battles, and he was in the trenches, the World War I trenches, and basically the Germans had outnumbered these British soldiers, and basically they ran them from the trench. John Hogan included, I'm assuming, and he thought, but for some reason he went, I'm not having it. And he turned round, went straight back on his own, and single-handedly he took back the trench from all these Germans. So for that act of bravery, which is amazing, he was awarded Victoria Cross. He's buried just over here. But basically what happened was, when he came back to England, he'd put his life on the line for his country, done what he'd done an amazing thing. He'd received a Victoria Cross and basically was left with nothing. He ended up having to go and sell matches on the streets to earn a living. He was a very proud man and a very decent man. Born in 1884 and died in 1943. Now, interestingly enough, I've mentioned this before, but John is actually in the same grave. Margaret Hogan there is his wife. But Margaret was married to Robert Taylor, who died on the 9th of February 1913. So Margaret's in this grave with both of her husbands. But the most notable, we're going to say for the purpose of this video, everyone's important. But yeah, Sergeant Hogan, John Hogan that is. Interestingly enough, not interestingly enough, he died in Oldham Hospital in 1943, and I'm pretty sure I read that it was pneumonia that he died from. But you'll have already seen the animation that I've put in of his face, and he were really good looking, weren't he? A lot of these fellas that I bring in were quite good looking. Even John Platt's good looking in his animation. I always thought he were a bit foul. Well, you'll see that in a bit. So, oh, it's beautiful in the cemetery today, everyone. It's absolutely gorgeous. That dog's seen me and he's not happy. So So, we're going to move now to the grave of my favourite Oldhamer, because I think he's extremely handsome, although he's been dead 200 years, Eli Lees. So this is Eli's grave. Eli built the Lifelong Learning Centre in Worth Park. You hopefully should be looking at it right now. He built that. He built it for his son Charles Lees, who was the man who donated and sort of helped to get going Oldham's art gallery. But yeah, Eli, he lived a long age. It says here that he died in 1892. I had it that he died in 1891. You're loud. So yeah, look at him there, little bleeder. So yeah, he actually, if you look at his grave here, it said he died at 102 Lancaster Gate, London. Now if you know Lancaster Gate, it's them big fancy white houses, beautiful ones. But what I really like about the fact that Eli died in London, if any good can come from that, is even though he lived in London, I think that was his second house, he was an Oldhamer. Do you know what I mean? He was an Oldhamer and he was brought back to Oldham, and this is where he was laid to rest. His wife joined him 4 years later. So you'll be able to see her as well. Lovely looking woman. But yeah, you'd expect so with an husband like that, because I'm gonna tell you, he was something. Interestingly enough, I need to find out who this person was, because I don't know who they were. I'm going to try and find out who Elizabeth Williams was, because she was only put in there in 1940. It's really interesting. I'm wondering if Elizabeth is actually one of their children, because they had 5. So I'll check that out. But she lived at West Home in Worth. And I'll tell you something else as well. I'm pretty sure West Home, now I think about it, Marjorie Lees, who gave Worth Park to the people of Oldham when her mother died, Sarah Lees, the first mayoress of, well, one of the first mayoresses in the country. I'm pretty sure Marjorie must have been given West Home then. And that would have been her auntie's, and that's why Marjorie ended up living at West Home. West Home's a care home now. Just walked back down here to Sergeant Hogan's grave, because I remember there was someone I wanted to show you down here. Again, I have featured this fella before. George Hansen, JP, Mayor of Oldham, lived on Wernethall Road. He was a cotton spinner. Also, I'm just trying to see, oh no, that must be him. So yeah, so there's George there, and then there's Lucy, his wife. And also Mary Pitt, the beloved daughter. I think that woman, you know, in that grave, 100% is Eli and Anne's daughter, 100%. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyhow, who knows. Right, I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to have a look at a few more graves that, yes, I've featured before. If you don't want to see them, fast forward, click out the video. I realise I'm putting the same content in, but slightly different, so... but while I'm here, while I've got the animations, while I want to bring those dead back to life, I'm doing them. Simple as that. Just around the corner from Eli Lees is another grave that I've featured before. John Platt Esquire, MP. James died really young. He was shot by then Mayor of Oldham, Josiah Platt. It was an accident, he didn't mean to do it, but it blew James's calf off. He was up shooting at Dovestones in his house, Ashway Gap, and yeah, it basically blew his calf off with it, all of his arteries, and they carried him up the steps of Ashway Gap, and yeah, unfortunately, James passed away on the bed. Apparently they said the mattress was soaked in blood, and there was just nothing anyone could do for him. Just one of those. They'd probably struggle nowadays, I would imagine, although maybe they could have amputated, I don't know. But yeah, he lost too much blood and he died. And he was the older brother of John Platt, who we're going to go and have a look at in a minute, who's got a statue in Alexandra Park. Yeah, let's get up to John Platt's grave and have a look at that, and a few others. Again, just a bit further up from Eli Lees, you've got William Borden, just buried there. They featured this a couple of videos back, but just buried there is his son George. George died in a riding accident, but William was a massive Oldham employer. He manufactured engineering products, I believe. You'll be looking at William now, but he was also a JP and Mayor of Oldham at one time. But yeah, a lot of tragedy in their life, and he outlived his son as well. So he would have seen his son into that grave, and then they put him in. And I've just noticed, have you seen those snakes? The Celtic cross with the snakes. Interesting. Just by the grave of John Platt, which I'm not going to focus too much on that, to be honest. I want to move on to another Platt member. Now, I'm pretty sure he's got a grave of his own, but I might be wrong. I think he might be in the family tomb. Let's have a look. So yeah, for anybody who by any miraculous chance does not know who John Platt was, he was one of the most wealthiest Oldhamers ever to have lived. He had a world-dominating engineering manufacturing business for cotton spinning machinery, and they worked out of Hertford Works in Wearmouth. And the Platts, or John Platt, has a statue in Alexandra Park, which is the one that you see, the man with the 4 women around it. But here it is. I think it's this marker. It says also his second son, Samuel R. Platt. So that's Samuel Radcliffe Platt. The Platts married the Radcliffes, that's what they did. They were all marrying each other. He died at Bangor. Bangor on board. Oh my God! He died at Bangor on board his yacht, which was called the Norseman. Aged 57 years. Samuel Radcliffe Platt was the man. So next time you see Mayor of Oldham, and she's got, because we've got a lady at the moment, but the next time you see Mayor of Oldham and you see that sceptre that she's got in her hand that she walks around with, Samuel Platt gave that to Oldham. He bought it for Oldham and gave it to Oldham. It's the same one, they still use it today. I think it's solid silver. It has to be, because it's lasted all of this time. Probably not solid silver, but because she won't be able to pick it up. But you know what I mean. And then over here I've got another family member, which is Joshua W. Radcliffe. That's Walmsley Radcliffe, so he's related, they'll be cousins. He's in this grave with his wife Lucy. Joshua was 3 times Mayor of Oldham. His father, Josiah, is the fella who shot James, as I've told you a million times before, but you know what, if I'm talking about him, I'm going to give you the fact again. It's getting a bit breezy in here today, everyone. Can you hear that wind? It sounds beautiful. But yeah, he had an house in Wearmouth Park where we're going to, but everything got knocked down. When Sarah Lees basically bought the Platt mansion after the Platts died, the music rooms basically is part of the Platt mansion, and the only thing that's left, apart from the stables at the back that I've done in another video. In fact, when I get there, I'm going to see if I can sneak round and we'll see if we can get in the music rooms, because I've got a feeling I might be able to get in somehow. So I'm going to have a go. I just hope there's no rats in there. So the music rooms, as you're looking at it, was part of the Platt estate, the John Platt estate, and it was built specifically for the people that lived within the park. It was a gated area, and they would come here and listen to concerts, watch acts. It was their own private gated community, but this was actually built by John Platt, and it was part of the Platt estate. And when we go around the back in a minute, you'll be able to see. I thought there might have been some sort of branding on the top there, but there isn't. Let's have a look around the side. Right, you know, last time I was here, I got attacked by pigeons, right? And I think that's why, because that fella there is putting seed down for them. And then they come in. Oh God, I hope they don't turn up again. I could do without that. So if we walk up the back here, this is the Old Platte Gatehouse. I can't get in. Oh, they've locked it off. I don't blame them really. They must have had all sorts of people going in. You used to be able to get in through here. Okay, don't matter. I've got a video on my channel if you want to see it. Watch the Wearmouth Park one. I actually get around it. But this here is the Old Platte Gatehouse, and if you look, there you go.